Hello, children. This is Grandma Carla, and today here with me is my grandson, Uriah. Uriah, do you see yourself? How old are you, Uriah? 4. Can you show me 4 on your fingers? Okay, hold it up. Hold it up. 4. Very good. And Uriah, what do you like best about school? Painting. Your mother is very creative, and she comes up with some fun things for school, doesn't she? Okay, I'm going to move this over here so I can hold it, and we can show the pictures also. Okay, are you ready? Today we're going to read, Oh, Bother. Somebody's afraid of the dark. Someone's afraid of the dark. And this is a Pooh Bear book, so I know I will like it. The sun was setting as Winnie the Pooh and Piglet headed home after a day of exploring in the 100-acre wood. Piglet, it was a wonderful day, said Pooh. Of course, every day is wonderful if you have a full jar of honey. Pooh peered into the jar he was carrying. Oh, bother, he said. My full jar of honey is almost empty. Look, Piglet said. Tigger and Owl are pitching a tent under the trees. Hi, Pooh and Piglet, Tigger shouted to them. I've talked Owl into camping out tonight. And that sounds like fun, doesn't it, Piglet? Said Pooh as he stopped to wave to their friends. No, it doesn't, Piglet answered quickly, and he went right on walking. Piglet doesn't sound like he wants to camp. There's Pooh and Piglet discovering the empty honey jar, and there is Piglet walking away. He doesn't think that camping out sounds like fun. Do you think camping out sounds like fun?
Yeah.
You like to camp, huh? Pooh caught up with Piglet. Soon they reached a fork in the path. It was time to say goodnight, but Piglet did not want Pooh to leave. Walk home with me, Piglet begged Pooh. You can sleep over. We'll camp inside tonight. Please? Well, Pooh had never heard of camping inside before. I have a full jar of honey at home, offered Piglet. Sounds like a good idea, said Pooh, patting his tummy. Let's go. As they arrived at Piglet's house, Pooh stopped and pointed up to the sky. Look, Piglet, that's the first star, said Pooh. Let's get inside quick, said Piglet, whose only thought was that the night was getting dark very fast. But I have to make a wish, Pooh protested as Piglet pulled him in the door. There's the picture of Pooh and Piglet about to split ways when Piglet said, please come home with me tonight and stay. And Piglet kind of bribed Pooh with a full jar of honey, didn't he? When they were inside the house, Pooh was surprised to see Piglet push a large table in front of the door. What are you doing? He asked. Can't be too careful, Piglet answered. Oh, said Pooh. He wasn't sure what Piglet meant, but he didn't ask any more questions. He was too busy wondering about Piglet's jar of honey. Pooh and Piglet settled down for a pleasant evening at home. First, Piglet worked on a jigsaw puzzle, and Pooh ate honey. The puzzle reminded Piglet of something, so he told the story about 3 little piglets, and Pooh ate honey. Then Pooh told about the huge honeybee that he had followed the previous spring. I knew there would be gallons of honey waiting just for me because the bee was this big, said Pooh, holding up his paws. Then, sadly, the bee just disappeared. And there they are. Oh, Piglet's pushing something in front of the door. And there they are, having a nice evening of making jigsaw puzzles and having a friendly visit. After Piglet told Pooh how much he enjoyed the honeybee story, the 2 friends sang songs. Before Pooh knew it, the honey was all gone, and he was feeling very tired. I think I'd like to go to sleep now, Piglet, he said. However, Piglet still didn't want to go to bed. He suggested that they finish the evening with a game of haycorn checkers. Pooh tried to play, but he just couldn't stay awake any longer. All right, Pooh, Piglet said with a sigh. I guess it's time to go to bed. There they are, singing songs, and Pooh is getting more and more sleepy. And there they are, playing checkers, but Pooh is just about to drop his head on the table, isn't he? Before they went to bed, Pooh and Piglet brushed their teeth. Standing at the wash basin, Piglet suddenly saw a horrible sight. It was the shadow of a huge creature with a gigantic stick in his hand. "Pooh!" whispered Piglet, trembling. "There's a heffable horumplump. I mean a lump-a-huff. Oh dear, well, something awful is about to get us." Pooh looked around and saw the shadow on the wall. He waved his toothbrush at it. "Look, it's waving back at me," said Pooh. "Why, it is me. Actually, it's my shadow." "Oh," said Piglet, "I guess you're right." Here's Piglet afraid of a shadow on the wall. See that shadow? And Piglet's afraid of the shadow. Are you ever afraid of shadows?
No.
No. At last, Pooh and Piglet were ready to go to bed. "I think I'll just check under the bed for heffalumps," said Piglet. "Do you see any?" Pooh asked. "No," Piglet admitted, "but that doesn't mean they're not there." Piglet climbed into the bed at last. Pooh yawned and switched off the lamp. "You can't turn off the lamp," said Piglet, turning it back on again. "We need it on to keep the heffalumps away." "But Piglet, you blocked the door. A heffalump can't get in," Pooh reminded his friend, and he gave Piglet a reassuring pat. "I hope you're right," said Piglet uncertainly as he switched off the lamp. There they are, getting into bed. And there is Pooh trying to turn off the lamp. And Piglet's afraid of turning off the lamp. Pooh fell asleep immediately, but Piglet stayed wide awake. "Pooh," he whispered, "I hear something." Pooh did not answer. "Pooh," whispered Piglet a little louder this time, "it's definitely a heffalump something." Pooh still did not answer. So Piglet gave Pooh a push and said, "There's a heffalump right in this room. Don't you hear him going tick-tock, tick-tock?" "Huh?" said Pooh, awake at last. "Oh, yes, I do. Don't worry, Piglet. I'll get him." Pooh grabbed his pillow, stood up, and pounced on the heffalump. "Got you," he shouted. Was there really a heffalump in the room?
No.
No. What was going tick-tock, tick-tock?
The clock.
The clock goes tick-tock, tick-tock. Then Pooh switched on the lamp and lifted up the pillow. "What do you know?" Pooh said. "A heffalump looks just like an alarm clock." "Oh, it is an alarm clock," said Piglet, very relieved. Pooh thought for a moment. "Piglet," he said, "if I didn't know better, I'd think that you are afraid of the dark." "Well, there are scary things in the dark," Piglet replied, "like heffalumps and jaguars. But, Piglet, we haven't actually seen a heffalump, have we?" said Pooh. "We thought we saw one, but it was really your shadow," Piglet admitted. "And then we thought we heard one, but it was really the clock." There they are, discussing the heffalumps and jaguars that are about the room. Piglet continued, "I guess heffalumps are just in my imagination." "I guess that's true," said Pooh. "So there's nothing to be afraid of anymore." Suddenly there was a knock at the door. Piglet didn't want to answer it, but Pooh said he would go and ask who was there. Piglet decided it would be safer if he followed Pooh. "Who is it?" asked Pooh at the front door. From outside a voice answered, "It's Tiglet and Owl, Pooh." Suddenly Piglet hid under the table and began shaking with fear. "Tigger and a howling boo?" he whispered. "That's worse than a heffalump." I think that poor Piglet is hearing things. Don't you think so? He's just not even reasonable, is he? Sometimes when we get afraid of something, we're not very reasonable. Pooh was puzzled. "That didn't sound like a howling boo," he said out loud. "It sounded like someone we know. Think, think, think." "You're right," said Piglet. "I've heard that voice before. It sounded like owl, said Pooh. He was saying, it's Tigger and Owl, Pooh. If it's only Tigger and Owl, there's nothing to be afraid of, said Piglet, greatly relieved once more. Pooh helped Piglet push the table away. When they opened the door, Owl and Tigger were standing outside in the light of a firefly lantern. Come on out, said Tigger, bouncing excitedly. There's something you've got to see. Isn't it awfully dark out there? Asked Piglet, who was still a little bit nervous. But wait until you see the lights in the sky, said Owl. There's Piglet, all scared about who's outside. And then they open the door, and it's Owl and Tigger. There's nothing to be afraid of with Owl and Tigger. They're good friends. When Piglet and Pooh stepped outside, they saw that the sky was filled with glittering stars. Those star pictures in the sky are called constellations, said Owl, looking up at the sky. There's the big bear, and over there is the little bear. Oh, yes, said Pooh, and I think I see a big honey jar and a little honey jar. Show him that Tiggerific picture, said Tigger, bouncing impatiently. Piglet, said Owl, pointing a wing upward. We think that constellation right up there looks like you. Why, it does look like me, cried Piglet, staring at the night sky and forgetting all about being afraid. They're all looking at the stars and imagining pictures in the stars. And do you see the one that kind of looks like Piglet up there in the sky?
Yeah.
I think I see one that looks like Piglet right underneath my fingers there. Okay? The four friends watched the starry sky for a long time. Pooh put his arm around Piglet. No need to be afraid of the dark anymore, he said. Now that you know you have a friendly Piglet looking down on you. You're right, said Piglet, and that Piglet doesn't look scared of the dark at all. So he imagined that he saw a little Piglet out there, but really, he was comforted by having his friends all around him too, wasn't he? And what's in the lantern? Do you see the fireflies in the lantern?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And that was, oh bother, someone's afraid of the dark. Did you like your story? I liked reading it to you. You want to say goodbye till next time?
Goodbye.
Okay, touch the little red button.